Matt Bernie, you're taking a look at stakes action from Pleasanton Saturday afternoon. Race number 9, 2-year-olds, 5.5 furlongs on the main track there. Calbreds is the $100,000 Everett Nevin. Before we dive into the field, head on over to bets.drf.com. You know the drill by now. All sorts of good deals for you. Whether you're a new sign-up member, existing member, whatever the case may be, bets.drf.com is where you need to go. Let's take a look at the field of 2-year-olds going 5.5 furlongs. We'll begin and take them right in post position order. The number 1, Shady Empire, goes out for Jeff Bondi. Bondi does a great job with 2-year-olds in general. This horse was impressive, breaking the maiden first out at Santa Anita. Don't know that I love the field that he ran against that day. The second and third place finishers came back and earned buyers of 41 and 40. The fourth place finisher of 46. You take a look at the Dam River Kiss. She was graded stakes placed as a 2-year-old. So some positive things there. This one is a full to a horse called Coco Kisses, who was multiple stakes placed. The inside draw, I think, is a little bit precarious because going to probably need to go from there. And according to the Timeform US pace projector, might be a little bit of a lively pace. Now, keep in mind, take the pace projector with the 2-year-old races with a grain of salt. You see they have 2, 10, and 3 out there with a red bar indicating a fast pace working against horses that are forward. It's difficult to analyze when most of these horses have run one time. And what happens when, there are more of them altogether, they're facing winners for the first time. So many different things. So take the pace projector with the 2-year-old races with a grain of salt. Shady Empire, though, probably going to need to run a lot faster early on to establish that position. The 2 Bulletproof 1 goes out for Ellen Jackson. Idiot Proof, surprisingly, to me anyway, 13 for 54 with the 2-year-olds overall. That's a 24% strike rate. Pretty solid start for this horse. The Dam, she was precocious, 2 for 4 as a 2-year-old. Highest last out raw Timeform US rating in the field for Bulletproof 1 with an 81. Was bet down to 3 to 10 that day, or 7 to 10. Really not a surprise at 4.5 furlongs up at Golden Gate. The problem I have is the field that this horse defeated was just dreadful. And I know she's a 2-year-old filly taking on some of the boys. There's a number of girls actually in this race. But my goodness, the field that she ran against was just dreadful. The runner-up came back and earned a 9 buyer. Third place finisher a 10 buyer. Fourth place a 28. Difficult for me to sit here and take a relatively short price on a horse that just beat absolutely putrid company. Bulletproof 1, not for me. I picked her 4th. Next flight, the number 3, I'm a little bit more intrigued with for Steve Miotti. This is a horse that broke the maiden most recently. Calbred down at Santa Anita. Boisterous is off to a pretty decent start, about 10% with his 2-year-old runners in general. The thing I like most about Next Flight, yes, he did it in gate-to-wire fashion, but the 4th place finisher came back and earned a buyer of 51. That's considerably faster than what many of these horses have run against so far, at least horses that have come back out of the races that they've run in. Next Flight is another one, though, that from a tactical standpoint, going to need to show a new dimension because it seems rather unlikely that he's going to be able to clear off to the front. Could take up a nice stalking position, though. This is a small sample size, but let's take a look at the formulator effect for Steve Miotti. Now, Miotti normally does great work, but with this sort of move past 5 years, maiden winner, last out, non-graded stakes races, 0 for 11, only one of them have hit the board. Not a great number, again, limited sample size, but still something you may want to consider for a horse like Next Flight. The number 4, Smoking Hot Bobby. Most recently, again, broke the maiden in the career debut, did so nicely. This is one of the fillies in the group. She set legitimate fractions, went on, did it professionally, won by nearly 2 lengths. The second and third place finishers, though, they've come back to earn buyers of 31 and 13. So again, really boils down to from a pace situation, from a class situation. Is she going to be able to show a new dimension? By the way, also for her, trying a different surface for the first time, going to the dirt as opposed to the synth. There's just so many things that I'm unsure of, and at the price that she may end up potentially being, don't know that I love her in a spot like this. 5, Doc Tommy, first-time starter for Felix Rondin. This one is a full to 2 winners at 2-year-old, half to a horse called Cash Prize, who has multiple stakes placed. The Sire comic strip, about 2% with the 2-year-old, or 9% with the 2-year-old first-time starters. Nothing specific or tremendous to speak about with the immediate family on the Dam side. Look, it's one of those instances where realistically, if you think you have a horse with any ability, take a shot in a spot like this. You hit the board. Perhaps it's a springboard to something bigger and better. You see what you're probably going to have to face. A number of horses that have got buyers in the sort of low to mid 50 range. Realistically, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility if this horse has got some ability. For me, I'm going to sit back and watch one, but I can understand the intrigue for this fresh face. The 6, Jedi Knight. This is a horse that most recently broke the maiden. I like the fact that has already shown can sit and pass horses. That to me is a very, very invaluable sort of trait for a young horse. The problem is beat an absolutely terrible field. Second place finisher came back and earned a 6 buyer. Third place, a -0, and the fourth place, a 41. So the field definitely leaves something to be desired. The Dam of Royalty, she was a stakes winner. She did her best running on grass, so I do wonder if at some point you get a transition. Keep in mind, this one debuted on the synth, maybe turf down the road. But we'll find out what we get here on Saturday afternoon on the dirt. Call Me Peppy, the number 7. This one goes out after being defeated as the 2-1 favorite in the career debut by another horse who we'll run into here later on. That's Project Leader. This is a horse that took significant money, showed a little bit early speed, and just couldn't quite go on with it. Second start, I like that they're going to go and continue on and say, you know what, we could go look for a maiden race, but there's a lot of money to be had here. Let's wheel them back, see what we can do. Again, from a number standpoint, a hair on the light side. No reason to think, though, that you can't take a step forward here. Second start off the bench. The 8, Drippin' Sauce for Jonathan Wong. Broke the maiden in the career debut. That was against maiden 20 claimers, so certainly a class hike this time around. Did so very nicely, though. Sat off of a relatively slow pace. Went on, did it professionally. 5/8 of a mile at Pleasanton. That, to me, is very, very key. That's a major sort of feather in this one's cap. Not only are you proven on dirt, but you're proven on this track that you're going to run on Saturday afternoon. You don't have to have the lead. You've proven that. I think Drippin' Sauce makes a lot of sense in a spot like this. The 9, Roses for Laura, the horse that I am most intrigued with in here for Gary Sherlock. Broke the maiden in the career debut down at Santa Anita at the beginning of May. Been gone since then, but for all the reasons I laid out for Drippin' Sauce, basically all applies to Roses for Laura. The horse that sat off of a target, went past horses, drew off nicely. The horses that he defeated, you come back, or she, excuse me, take a look and see. Runner-up came back and earned a 45 buyer, third place of 48. This is another instance, too, where you look at it, for the fillies in this field, getting a stakes placing is so valuable because all of a sudden they become broodmare prospects. If you win the race, even better. I think Roses for Laura's got a big chance. She has the highest last out buyer in the field with 59. And we get to the outside runner, Project Leader. Made mention, ran in to Call Me Peppy. In the most recent start, went gate to wire, right to the front, and said, come and catch me. Nobody else could go. The difference this time around is looks like there's some significant speed to the inside. I wonder if Project Leader needs to take up more of a stalking trip this time around, or maybe he's just that fast and he can clear off and say, no, you all need to come and catch me. We'll find out what we get there. Ultimately, where am I going to go here in this field of 10? 2-year-olds going 5.5 furlongs. Take a look at the pick. I'm going to go with Roses for Laura, one of the 2-year-old fillies in this spot. I just like, again, that she showed she can already sit off of a target, be effective, go and run down some decent enough horses based on what they've come back to do. Certainly a class hike. Been gone for a little while, but I'm going to go 9, 3, 8, and 2 in the 9th at Pleasanton Saturday afternoon. You're playing this race, any of the other races at Pleasanton, play with DRF Bets. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the details for the latest and greatest. Scheduled post time. The 9th race at Pleasanton Saturday afternoon, 5:50 Pacific. Good luck.